In this video I'm going to do parts A to D because it's fairly straightforward. Now in part A we're asked to find out what proportion lie below 45 kilograms, which is here, and that brings us on to this line, which you should know is the median, and the median means that 50% of the values lie below it. So the proportion that lie below 45 kilograms is going to be 50% or a half. I'm just going to put a half here. As for part B, we're asked to find out what the smallest weight was if a quarter of the people had to pay an extra charge. Well, again, you should know in a box plot like this that this line here represents the upper quartile, so quarter of the people above this had a weight above, well, this value here, which is 54 kilograms. So that weight would be 54 kilograms. As for part C, what do we mean by this cross here? Well, it's an outlier or extreme value. So if you were to put outlier or extreme value, then that will get you the marks. And finally, oh, and by the way, it says what kind of instrument could you have? Well, I think this is a bit of an unfair question really, because there's a lot of people who are not familiar with musical instruments in an orchestra, but what it's got to basically be is a heavy instrument, and you've got to come up with a heavy instrument. Well, I would say maybe a tuba would be my answer. But as I say, I feel that that's quite an unfair question. So if you can think of a heavy instrument, all well and good. Okay, finally then we've got part D, and we need to work out what the skewness is. Now, to work out skewness, what you need to do for box plots is just have a look at the gap here and here. Work out the difference between the quartiles. Well, what we'll do is we'll just first of all put down what the lower quartile is, Q1, this value here, and you'll see that that value is 36. Q2, the median, we've already seen is this value at 45. And finally Q3, the upper quartile, this value here is 54. Now what you need to work out is the difference between Q2 and Q1. So Q2 minus Q1 is going to be 45 minus 36, and that comes out at 9 kilograms. And you also need to do Q3 minus Q2. So if you do Q3 minus Q2, you've got 54 minus 45, and you can see that 2 is 9. So because the quartile, these widths are exactly the same, let's just put that down, that Q3 minus Q2 equals Q2 minus Q1, then what we've got is no skew at all, or basically it's symmetrical. Okay, so if Q3 minus Q2, if this width here was larger than this width, then it would have been positively skewed, and similarly if this width, Q2 minus Q1, had been greater than this width, then it would have been negatively skewed. But in our case, they're both equal, so no skew, and so it's symmetrical. Okay, well that brings us to the end of these parts of the question.